Hi everyone. This series of videos is going to take you through page 8 in the packet, which is about equations that have exponents in them. Now we have been solving equations with exponents in them for a few of the lessons now, but this one is different because you'll notice on all of the problems on this entire page, the exponent is the variable, and that's a little bit new. Usually when we're solving things, the exponent is a number, or at least something that we can work with, and the base is the variable. So switching things up is going to involve a little bit of critical thinking because we're going to have to start to think a bit differently about the approach that we're going to need to take. The first thing that we should do in question number 1 is to just think really logically about what it means to solve an equation in the first place. I say that because sometimes we take for granted those instructions. It probably feels in your algebra experience like we've basically always said, well, just solve the equation, solve the equation, solve the equation. And we're so used to that being a generic direction that we almost never actually think about what it means to solve an equation. Solving an equation means you're finding the value of x that makes the left side equal to the right side. That's basically all you're doing. So this problem is saying 5 to the power of something has to match 5 to the power of 6. And hopefully your common sense has immediately kicked in and you would say to yourself, well, if that power has to make the left side look exactly like the right side, and the 5 already looks like a 5, then logically the only reasonable power I could put in the left-hand side must be a 6, because then of course the equation is exactly the same on both sides. It's almost too obvious that x is 6 when you think about it that way. And notice I didn't really do a whole lot here. I'm certainly not doing anything fancy. I'm not figuring out what 5 to the power of 6 is. I'm not trying to solve with any complicated algorithms. I'm just using a bit of common sense. So for all of the questions in number 1, try to use some quick common sense to figure out what value of x would make the left side match the right side. I think you'll find that that's a relatively easy and quick mental math exercise, and you won't have to do a whole lot of extra work. You won't even have to use a calculator. Take the time to do number 1 and then check your 4 answers to make sure it is indeed common sense. And then we'll look at how you can apply a similar strategy in question number 2.